Welcome to RGB, your weekly podcast where we discuss the latest technology news, rumors, product reviews, and we put it all in layman terms. This is episode number 17. My name is Tyler Menard, and I'm joined by my co-host Alexandre Valliere-Lagacé. This week, we discuss Pokémon, a new Nintendo console, and the iPhone 7.
So this week we have follow-up. First of all, one of the news we discussed last few weeks, the supposedly lightning connector equipped iPhone earbuds. We saw some pictures, some supposedly leaks of this new product. To me, what I said at the time was that it was very fake looking and very cheap plastic looking. It looked more like somebody who tried to hack together its own cable. Well, we learned this week that it's actually fake. So this was something that was made by somebody and posted on Chinese forums just to look like a true leak, but it's just basically fake. So that's done. No more lightning headphones. So this week, the main subject, which is probably what everybody is playing right now, the new Pokemon game. We're a bit late to talk about this, so we're going to maybe just do a quick overview of all the thing that happened with the Pokemon game since it launched. What is it, like 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago?
2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago, yeah. So a lot have happened over the last 2 weeks. Lots of Pokemon were catched. Lots of accidents were happened.
Were made.
Yeah, were made. So yeah, basically, do you want to summarize us what the Pokemon game is, since you're probably more knowledgeable about Pokemon than me?
Okay, so the game is not at all like the well, first of all, it started as a playing card game and also a Nintendo Game Boy game, I think in the 90s, end of the 90s, 96 or something like that. The basic game is you're a trainer and you train and catch Pokemon, which are like little monsters, and the yellow Pikachu you see everywhere. And you battle gyms, you get badges, your Pokemon evolve, and that's pretty much it. Now with the new game on the iPhone, it's the AR, they call it?
Yeah, augmented reality.
Okay, so you have to walk around and catch Pokemon in real life. So it's the same thing as the game, but in real life.
Yeah, so instead of just taking your little character and making him walk in the game from your couch, you actually have to physically move with the game open on your smartphone in order to encounter Pokemons and hope to catch them.
Right.
So basically that's super intensive on your battery because the GPS runs constantly. And even though you don't do much just by walking, the way the game works is that it really tracks your position and then the speed at which you're moving to be sure you're not driving or you're not just like in the bus going fast or in the train. Because one of the features of the game is that you can hatch Pokemon eggs, and in order to be able to hatch them, you need to walk. So there's like 2 kilometers, 5 kilometers, and 10 kilometers, I think, eggs. So you need to walk this distance. So that's one of the reasons why the game needs to track your actual walking distance and not just the traveling distance from your car or your bus or whatever, because it would be much more easier to get ahead in the game by using some fast vehicle.
Yeah, so you basically have to go catch Pokemon, and you can't just sit on your couch. You have to physically walk to locations. Same thing goes for gyms. And it's called Pokestops. It's where you collect Pokeballs and everything. And all the locations, I think they're based on Ingress, the previous game that was made by
the same company. Yeah, by the same company, Niantic.
Niantic, right.
Yeah, so they actually reuse the same data. So it's all, I don't know how the data was. I think in Ingress you could propose point of interest And I don't know if people were voting on those or if there was some curation going on, but there was a mechanism with which you can propose places. And these are not your usual high tourist places. It could sometimes be like a little park or just a plaque with commemorating some specific event in the past, which is usually a point of interest that are mostly known by local residents and not just that big stadium that everybody knows because you want to see the Mets play there. So it's smaller places and many more than what you usually expect.
The Mets? You chose the Mets of all the baseball teams?
It's the first one that came in mind.
Okay. Yeah, so all the train stations in my area are all Pokestops, and next to work, a lot of the graffiti and just like art on buildings there, drawings and everything, those are all Pokestops also. So
Yeah.
it's something, yeah, like you say, it's all local stuff that tourists don't know about.
Exactly. So in order to be able to sustain the amount of traffic generated by the game and the number of players, Niantic started with a gradual rollout of the game. So they started with the US at first. And even, well, this country is quite big. So even from the start, you had connection problems, and you still do up to this day. Basically, when I start a game, maybe once every two times I tried to launch a game, I just don't get nowhere. So there's still many data problems over there. So the first day was the US, and then the next week, UK. And a couple of days later, they started more countries like France, Portugal, and eventually they added Canada. I think it was last week, something like Thursday or Friday. And
Sunday,
okay. And then they had plans to launch for Japan today or yesterday, but there was a leak and somebody's leaked an email, and probably not for that reason, but they decided to postpone the launch a couple more days. So probably they're just trying to get even more servers ready, because you can probably guess that this is going to be even crazier in Japan than it is right now. So yeah, a gradual rollout, lots of people getting the game from illegal channels, and all those places are usually full of virus and stuff like that. So it's not the safest way to play the game. But there's such a big fear of missing out right now that everybody wants to play, even though the country is not even in the list. There are web tools that have been launched to help you track which country is available and when. So yeah, there's a big craze going on.
Yeah, it's crazy. Even my non-geek friends, I was at a party on Saturday and everybody was playing Pokemon, and everybody found out how to create an Australian or a United States account just to get the game because they wanted to play, and they went out of their way just to download a stupid game on their phone.
Yeah, that was crazy. And
people, I see a lot of people walking around playing before it was even released here. The person next to me on the train the other day was playing too. I couldn't believe the hype of this thing.
And you can see many more dim screen than before. People trying to hide the fact that they're playing the game, I'm guessing.
Why?
I don't know. I've seen so many dim screen and very light green background of people playing Pokemon, but like trying to hide it. Also, people not trying to hide it and actually walking like in diagonal and everything.
Yeah. So do you see? Then I saw a lot of people too. There's a park next to my house. A bunch of kids playing.
Yeah, and also there's there's a Vine star that is now mostly active on YouTube. He's called Logan. Yeah, Logan something. And he posted today a prank that he did in Central Park. He says that there's usually about 2,000 people constantly playing the game. So he stand in the middle and he started to scream Dragonite, Dragonite, which is I think like one of the second best Pokemon or second rarest.
Yeah.
So, and then everybody starts swarming and running and screaming to him because they really think that the Pokemon is there, and by moving to its location, they're going to be able to catch him. So that was quite funny.
And there's been a couple of reports of car crashes and I think even a death of people playing Pokemon while driving or some
Yeah,
stupid things like that. People
yeah,
falling off a cliff.
yeah. Today, the Baltimore police released a statement with all the activity there is currently going in that city. All the cops are wearing live cams on their chest, so they can record everything that happens around them 24/7. And you can see three of them talking on the corner of a street right next to their car, and you can see a Honda CRV coming very fast and hitting their car right on. And you can see the kid coming out of his car after that with his phone in his hand saying, "I'm sorry, I was playing Pokemon." And he was like saying like, "This is what I get for playing that stupid games." So yeah, basically he was Pokemon and driving at the same time. So that's bad. We also saw a sign, which I think is the same city, that says "Don't Pokemon and drive" on those road signs. So
the road
yeah,
signs that usually say "Don't text and drive" or they alert you of traffic coming up.
Yeah.
And now they have to say "Don't play Pokemon on your phone."
Yeah, it's getting quite intense.
How long do you think this hype is gonna go for?
There's gonna be a core set of users who's gonna keep on playing that for at least, I would say, maybe a month or two. But the regular person that's not necessarily a Pokemon fan will probably just play for a while and then let it go. Especially that there's not many interaction possible right now. You can go to a gym, you can fight the local gym Pokemon master if you want, but you cannot trade your Pokemon with your friends and you cannot challenge your friends directly. So two things I would hope they add very soon in order to keep people playing is, let's say you are close to your friend in the same radius, so both your radius are touching. You could even, of course, like share your Pokemon. So if you got like two of the whatever X Pokemon you have, you can share it to your friend and your friend send you something else. That would be super useful. But the downside would be that it would reduce the length of the game, because if you got a few friends and you all play a lot, and you can probably in a couple of days, you can probably get all your Pokemons like traded and you can get them all like that. The other thing that they have to do is those type of games are super fun when you fight with your friends. So while being in the same radius, you could challenge your friend to a direct fight. So like a one-on-one type of fight, and even maybe see their avatar like in the distance and both your Pokemons in the middle. So that would be super cool. Do you see any features that they need to add soon, or?
No, but you're right. Those were two parts of the game. When you were playing on your Game Boy, you could connect it with the little wire. You connect your Game Boys and fight your friends and trade Pokemons.
The link cable.
Yeah, and it was very useful too, because they had a couple of versions, like the blue version, the red versions, and certain Pokemons were only available in certain versions. So that would promote the trading and talking to people about it.
Okay, that's how you do it. Because I was always wondering, do you really have to buy like both games to be able to get them all?
No, you trade.
Okay, that explains a lot. Okay,
yeah, that's what we do. The same thing goes for the card game. You trade cards, and because you'd buy a pack and you get doubles, so you trade your doubles for your friend to your friends, and then you can play the game. I never really knew how to play the card game, because the Game Boy came out like a couple of months later and the cards were done. But you could fight or whatever with the cards also.
Yeah, the cards still exist to this day. I know my son is starting his Pokemon craze, so he got a few decks for his birthday. So now he has the cards. The sad thing is that some of them are in French, some of them are in English, so he's not really like bilingual, so he has a problem with that. But now I have to actually prepare 2 decks and learn how to play the game to show him. So,
did your kid hear about the Pokemon Go app thing craze going on?
Maybe my oldest daughter, because she's 13 and she has her own iPod now, so maybe she installed it. But the other ones probably not.
Okay.
And knowing my kids, they will probably not get too much into that, especially that there's not many interactions as opposed to the games they're currently playing. Like they're big fans of Splatoon and Lego X, so Lego Batman, Lego Marvel. So it's always like games with characters that you control and you move around. It's a big sandbox, so there's lots of places to go. So this game will probably last them like 5 minutes, and then they'll be done.
Also, another part, here in Canada, it gets really cold in the winter, so I don't know what's going to happen to people playing Pokemon with their iPhones out in the cold.
Well, people go out to smoke, so I'm thinking that if they're addicted enough to their Pokemon game, they'll probably go out to take a walk,
Right.
just to get more Pokemons. But like you say, probably you should invest in a company that makes special gloves that work with the iPhone to make sure,
Yeah.
because they will be in demand late October, early November for sure.
Yeah, so it's seasonal. It's a seasonal game.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, probably more like that. Yes. And there was also some problems at the beginning when they launched the game. For those who did not try it, when you start the game, you're asked to connect to the game with a Google account. So they're using a Google authentication service for that. And the way these things work is that you log in with your Google account and Google sends them a token so that they can use to identify you and create your account. This token is linked to your Google account and also has a series of scopes. So it's a series of rights that are granted to the application for actions to be done on your account. So the basic usually is identification. So it's basically your name or your email. And usually that's enough for most apps. But in this specific case, it required like full total access. So this meant that the Niantic company could use those tokens to access your Google account, but like everything, like your emails, your Google Photos, anything on your behalf. So it would like be like master key if you want. That's what was shared with them.
And it was able to not only see but send email, delete email, add contacts, delete contacts.
Yeah, everything on every Google services. They had access to everything. And also, usually these authentication service, when you type in your email, your password, and usually the two-factor authentication code, then you're presented with a screen that shows you exactly this information. You are granting Niantic access to your Google account, and here is the list of things that Niantic could do on your behalf. And usually it says like full access or whatever, but this screen was not present. So somehow Niantic developed the first version of the app with like either some kind of another workflow for the authentication that did not present this scope, which is bad practice because especially in this case they were granting everything, so they should have shown the screen and prepared users to know that they would give access to Niantic to everything. So that came out, that made a big kerfuffle online, and people were even suggesting to create a new Google account just for the game, so that if Niantic got hacked or became malicious, they would not be able to actually access your real account. So go ahead.
I was able to revoke the access to Niantic through my Google account, and the game still works. So,
see, that's the weird thing. When you did that, I tried the same thing, and when I logged back in, I was not able to log in. I had to reauthorize the account.
Oh, and since then they've released an update to fix that, anyways.
Well, yeah, two things. The first thing, that they came out with a press release that said that this was actually an error on their behalf. It was not their intention of playing with your accounts. So basically what they did is that they were submitting a new version of the app that was not requiring more than just the identification scope. So basically your name and your email address. And that they even asked the Google to provide proof that their use of the account was not made to access more than this basic information. So Google did so, and everything was green, and the new update came up. And since then, I uninstalled the app and reinstalled it from the Canadian App Store. And when I logged in my Google account, I was presented with that confirmation screen that said, I'm currently granting my email and name to Niantic so they could create my account. So everything was fixed. So that's a good thing. There was also something that came up quite recently. I think it was 4 days ago. It's a GitHub hosted project called Pokémon Go Map, which is a live visualization of all the Pokemons in your area. So basically, it's a Python program that you install on your own computer or /web server. So you can host it yourself. And it actually shows you a Google map of your current position and all the Pokemons and the location on the map. So instead of walking around trying to guess which Pokemon are where on the map, you can load a map and see directly, okay, this Pokemon I want is on the corner of this street and this street, so I can go right away and just get this Pokemon right there.
They have an API?
They have an API. This was actually built like in 4 days. Well, it's live for the last 4 days. Already has 267 commits, Jesus. 83 issues, and 20 pull requests.
48 contributors.
Yeah, so it was something that came out and was quite used by people.
The power of the Pokemon.
The power of the Pokemon, yeah. So 4,000 stars on that project on GitHub. So it's quite popular. And they even have like
everything.
They have a website now, and they have an Android port. And at the bottom, he says that he's using some guy's Pokemon API, Mila 432 Pokemon API. And a bunch of features that people contributed. So I haven't tried it, but I've got a friend at work that he tried it, and it works very well. So just before leaving work, he launched it and saw that on the corner of our workplace, he could just walk backwards like for a few minutes and find 2 Pokemon that he did not have. So, and they were actually there, and he could catch them. So,
do you think that's going to be closed?
Most probably, unless Niantic was lazy in his implementation, and they're not using like HTTPS and encryption, so that anybody can snoop on their own API calls from their device. So maybe that's not gonna change. But seeing at the speed that Niantic is going right now, they would probably need to keep on working on that and make sure that it stays solid and secure. So especially that they're making lots of money with that. So basically, hopefully they're going to close that if they can, which they probably can. So also there's a T-Mobile who in the US who announced something. It was announced 6 days ago. So basically, they're giving up free stuff for Pokemon players, just trying to ride the craze wave. So
the craze wave,
yeah, So basically, they're giving free unlimited data on Pokemon Go. So whenever you're on your cell phone plan and you're using your LTE connection, everything that goes through the Pokemon app will not be counted towards your monthly allotment. They're also offering free lift rides, up to $15 to get to a new Pokestop or gym.
That's just crazy.
I don't know how they're going to manage that. I'm guessing it's probably just once, not like for everyone forever.
Yeah, because I'd be going to a bunch of gyms to just get free rides.
Yeah, exactly. And then free Wendy's Frosty to fuel up your hunting.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot about that.
Yeah. and then they're trying to sell their stuff. So they're trying to give you 50% off certain accessories like portable power packs and chargers.
Right.
Yeah. So, yeah, good for them. Trying something to be different and trying something new. So
they're also going to release a little... It's like not a fit, like the first Fitbits are that just clip on your belt or that you can clip on your clothes. That's going to vibrate to tell you there's a Pokemon nearby instead of having your phone always open. So that's nice too.
Yes. But that's probably gonna also drain your battery while you're
But
not using the app itself. So
yeah, but maybe not as much as having the screen open all the time.
yeah, I don't know if the device has its own GPS or if it's using your phone's GPS.
I'm pretty sure it's Bluetooth and it's all going to be done in the background. Do
Yeah,
they
but
have
it's gonna
access to that if it's closed?
Probably, since it's a device, but it's
Background
gonna
refreshes?
yeah, but it's gonna request it every few minutes or maybe every few seconds. So
Yeah, I don't know the rules about that. Also, they were reporting, I think, a couple of million per day of revenue.
yeah, I
'Cause you
saw
can-
1.6 million after a few days, but that was just when the US were live. So
Right.
now
It must be stupid.
Yeah, probably like 9 or 10 million. I don't know. I saw also a graph. I'll probably need to find it back. It was showing the daily active user, which is basically the metric that is being used right now in the industry for those type of online games. They were showing, if my memory serves me right, that the Crash, what is it? Clash of Clan, Clash Royale, and Boom Beach. These games are of about like 25 million daily active users. And they were saying that Pokemon had already like twice as much. So over 50 million active daily users.
And they were catching up to Twitter also.
And yes, and this was just after the US, UK, and a few European countries. So wait until, well, you can already add Canada to that, and wait when Japan will join. Lots of people play Pokemon in Japan, so they will double this number for sure. And out of those, like 50 million users, they were making $1.6 million per day. So it's just going to get like crazy high for a while at least.
Yeah, because right now they're making money from in-app purchases, so you can buy, I think, more balls, more. It's called lure or
lures,
perfume
also,
or something, or forget the name.
candies, candies and stuff like that. Yeah. So a bunch of stuff you can buy for $1, $2, $5, $10, and yeah. So basically, right now the top purchase is 100 Pokecoins for $1, and 550 Pokecoins for $5. And surprisingly, the sixth most popular in-app purchase is 14,500 Pokecoins for $100.
That's a lot of money.
That's a lot of money
for a game.
Yeah, for a free game.
Yeah. And what's funny also is the top charts, the top free charts are all Pokemon related. Everything is trying to ride the wave of Pokemon.
Yeah, and there was even one app that was a paid app. I think it was just like an informational app about Pokemon that was for a few days since the launch of the US Pokemon game. It was in the Canadian App Store as number one top selling app at $1.39 Canadian. And it was there for a couple days. So even games that are just about Pokemon just like made so much money. And it's not like he was trying to be a fake Pokemon Go. It was clearly advertised as what it is. Sadly, the guy had like 2 stars because people were thinking that he was the Pokemon game. So they were buying it. But anyways, people are stupid. So
as we record, the number 3 top paid is a Game Pro Pokemon Go edition. It's $3.99. Has 1 star and 26 reviews. So they're still there.
Yeah, but that's not the one that I was thinking about. But this one clearly tries to scam people.
And then number 8, Poke Location and Radar Pro for Pokemon Go, $2.79. It's number 8 in the App Store, Canadian App Store.
Yeah, it was something else. I'm trying to see if I can find it. It's not there anymore. Maybe too many complaints and it got pulled.
In the top free, you have Pokemon Go, and then Poke Radar for Pokemon Go. Second.
Yeah, so I'm thinking that this Poke Radar is probably using the same API that I mentioned on GitHub, but in a mobile app form. It shows you pins on a map around you, and you can click the pin to see which Pokemon that is, or you can filter by Pokemon on the map. So yeah, it's probably the exact same thing. It's free, and there are no in-app purchases. Okay, so it really is free.
And there's another one, the same kind of app. It's 12 in the App Store. It's crazy.
Yeah, Google Maps. Yeah, so yeah, everybody riding the Pokemon wave on the App Store.
I think they're going to start not selling, but local shops are going to be able to become a Pokestop. So they're going to attract new customers and everything. I heard that too. So I don't know how that's going to work. They're going to be able to apply, I guess, or something to become a Pokestop or a gym.
Yeah, the owner, chief executive of Niantic, John Hank, said that he was starting to organize a sponsor location, so you could become, like you say, a Pokestop in the game in order to
attract
customers to your location, and in exchange of money for sure. So it's going to be sponsored. So I think that Ingress also had this in the past. So it's just a way for them to make more money with that, which makes sense. There was always something. There's always place for sponsored content for these kinds of high activity app with lots of daily active users. And the thing that it generates in return is increased valuation for partners. So in this case, the Pokemon company is owned at 33% by Nintendo, and I think it's like 33% for Google also. I think I saw that somewhere. I have to dig to find the article, but basically Nintendo came out from being about 14,000, I'm guessing that's million of yens, and they surpassed in a couple days 22,000. So basically 50% increase in their value up to July 13th. So that was like a week ago. So it's even better now.
It doubled in value since Pokemon Go's release. The Verge has an article.
Okay.
I think Google was Niantic, or Niantic was part of Google, and they branched out. I don't think I don't think Google owns Pokemon in any way. I'm not sure, but
yeah. So basically, Nintendo is not 33%, but it's major stakeholder in the Pokemon company. So they probably own like at least 51% of the company, and they also are handling most of the licensing of the game. So in Australia and some European country also, the Pokemon company, as it's called right now, is the licensing part of it that covers the US and the UK. So we're still not exactly sure on how this is split across Nintendo and other partners. But basically, I can tell you that Nintendo went from 14,000 to right now it's about 28,000. So it doubled its value, and it also reached a couple 2 days ago, I think, 32,000. So it more than doubled, and now it's back to double. So for a company that has probably 50% or maybe just a little bit more, it's pretty good. They're making lots of money with that. So good for them.
There's also, here somebody's reporting McDonald's in Japan, it jumped 23%.
For McDonald's?
Yeah. Do you know? Because they have Pokemon Happy Meals.
Oh, okay. And they will probably be some of the first also to be sponsored locations.
And it's not even open yet. It's not even available yet in Japan.
Wow. That's crazy.
It's everywhere.
Yeah. Still keeping in the video game side of things, Nintendo is releasing a new console. And no, it's not the future replacement of the Nintendo Wii U. It's the old, if you want, NES Classic Edition. So after so many decades, Nintendo will finally be listening to me and other fans of all those retro gamings from the 80s.
Yeah, I'm sure they're listening to you.
Yeah, specifically to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they're gonna release a new console, which is the NES Classic Edition. So it's a small size, about the size of your hand, a console that looks exactly like the original Nintendo Entertainment System from 1987. It's gonna be available this November for what is it? It's $59 or 79 Canadian. It's going to come with one controller and 30 pre-installed games, all great success, like Kid Icarus, Mario, Mega Man 2, Metroid, Star Tropics, Mario Bros, of course, 1, 2, 3, Legend of Zelda, Adventures of Link, and so much more. So, but the cool thing is that, yes, this is a new console, so this plugs into your TV via the HDMI cable and comes with a AC adapter for sure. And the remote itself, it's the classic NES remote from the 80s. But the special thing is that it's not going to be plugged into the console via the same adapter that was used in the 80s. But so instead of using what you were expecting, so it's instead of using the classic connector for the Nintendo, it's using the Wiimote nunchuck cable. So basically the nunchuck as kind of like a U-shaped connector that plugs into your Wiimote. So this controller is using that connector. So you can also use it on your Wii to play Virtual Console games. So if you already have a bunch of old games that you repurchased on the Virtual Console, you can use that controller to play those games on your TV too. And you can buy a second controller for $10 in the States and $13 in Canada. So, will you be buying one?
Nope. Will you be buying one?
Of course.
I never had a original, not Nintendo, Super Nintendo. No,
Nintendo.
I had the Super Nintendo. I never had the original Nintendo.
Okay, well then you have to buy one.
I'm not much of a gaming guy.
Gamer. Yeah, but what I'm mostly looking forward to is actually opening the damn thing. I want to see how it works, because right now it comes with 30 games pre-installed. But how does it work? Is it like software emulation? Are they reusing the same CPU chips that they were using in the 80s? So there's so many ways to do that. And what about the games? Are they written in memory, like on the chips themselves? Is it using some kind of SD card inside that? Can I take this SD card and put more games on it? Replace that, 16 megs card with a 64 gigabytes card and have the whole damn collection of the games? So yeah, basically there's so many questions to be answered and so few answers for the moment. And it's only available for pre-orders at this moment on the French Amazon website for France. So right now you still can't pre-order it in Canada or in the US. I'm frantically refreshing Amazon.ca and .co and .co.uk every day to hopefully see this come up. So yeah.
It's probably a little robot inside that's going to blow inside the cassette and stick it in like we used to do. That's probably how it works.
That would be perfect, but if you look at the pictures closely, you can see that the seams around the little door are not actually real space. It's just like a groove in the plastic, but you cannot open it.
Right. So it's a little robot inside that does it for you.
Okay. That's perfect. But the cool thing is that the power button actually works. Hopefully the reset button too, and the red LED works.
Why is that important to you?
Well, because
the power button works.
The nostalgic of pressing the button.
I've only played a little bit when we go to my aunt's at Christmas, and they have one in the basement, and we always take it out and try to plug it back on a TV, and it takes an hour to get this stupid game to work, and then we play. We go up to eat, and when we come back down, it's another hour to get the game to work again.
Yeah, that's the sad thing about this console, is that it was poorly designed. The way it works is that when you slide in the cassette, you actually slide in the connector of the cassette into the receiving end of the console, but when you press it down, you actually press the connector on the connector readers, if you want, the contacts, and that actually like gives it some movement. And over time, these were not touching as strongly, so the contact was not as good. So eventually, you would like blow in the cartridge, which was the worst thing you could do,
We
because
still do it.
yeah, because of the placebo effect of just doing it once and having it working. You're sure that that's how you need to make it work. So
Yeah,
everybody was,
it's all because of the dust.
yeah, of course, the dust, but there's no dust that can accumulate so fast if you played the game like an hour ago. so so it makes no sense. People had their tricks. I know that one that worked very well with mine was that instead of pushing it to the far end, I was just like resting it on the side, and then while I was pushing it down, I was sliding it just a little, so it would just go barely in, and that would work. I would say like 90% of the time. But the thing that really worked the most was when I took the console apart and I bought a new connector on eBay for the console. And I cleaned all my cartridges with a dry eraser and alcohol. So all the gold contacts were shiny and clean. And since that day, my console works like a new one.
Do you still have the original one?
Yep.
Yours?
The one I had when I was a kid, yes.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh, yeah. My Super NES actually stopped working. And I tried to understand what was wrong with it. And I threw it away and realized afterwards that it was probably just the power fuse that was burnt, which is what happens the most with this console. So I could have just fixed it with a 5 cents part, but I learned that after the fact. So too bad for that. A friend of mine gave me a new one, an old one that she had. So I still have a Super Nintendo also. But you know what this means? If Nintendo takes out this console and with 30 games and there's a big success, what's blocking them from doing the same thing with the Super NES and Nintendo 64? This is just like the first of a long line of of new consoles. Or if they're even smarter, they can also sell cartridges or some kind of a cassette mechanism that you can have like 50 games on it, and you can buy a few of those and they can sell them for like $30. I don't know. There's so many things they can do, and there's so much money they can make with that. It's just sad that it took like 30 years for them to realize that they could like resell that for living rooms.
No, the problem, not the problem, but all the people that were playing this game now have money, like because they're older.
Yes,
so
exactly.
They could sell these things for so much more.
And some of them do. There's actually a project, I think that it's mostly done right now, but it's called the Analog NT. These guys are freaks. They actually acquired some large quantity of old NES games. They unsoldered from the board the main CPU and chips so that they could create a custom made made from today like motherboard and resolder these original chips on the board and sell that in a brand new 100% aluminum milled console. So they're using the Ricoh 2A03 and Ricoh 2C02 CPUs and PPU. This is the exact chip from real console that they acquired, so it's not emulated or nothing. It's really the exact thing. And this console is a top loader, so you plug in the cartridges from the top. It can be plugged in using RGB or using HDMI to your TV, and it's $500 US. So, and they sold like 2 waves, I think, of those. I don't know how many there were, probably like 100 or more, and they were all sold out the very first day that came out. So what they did, they say, people want to spend their money, right? So they actually made a 24 karat gold version of the game, of the console, that sold for $5,000, and they sold them too. Yeah, So there is money to be made from old 80s players that are now older and have more money. So
Okay, they're not too expensive. They're like $150 on eBay. The
seriously?
original, yeah, the original NES.
Oh, the original? Yes, yeah.
$100.
And the price, the price went up because, even just like 2 years ago, you can get a restored console, cleaned and with a new connector, for like $40. I know because I sold one on eBay. I had two from my childhood, and I cleaned the first one and I changed the connector and sold it with a few games I had duplicates of and old controllers that were also cleaned, and I sold it for like $50 on eBay. So, and that was like regular price like a few years ago. So right now, 150, the price went up because now there's kind of a retro gaming craze going on, and lots of people want to get into that business of acquiring lots of old games and reselling them at higher margins. So the price of a Zelda game, the gold cartridge one, which could be maybe $75 a few years ago, is now like $200 or $300 complete in bucks, because collectors are now growing like crazy and there's everywhere people want those special games. So I thought you were saying that the analog was on eBay for $150.
No. Okay, I'm hoping the what is it, Game Boy Color becomes popular, because I know we still have that one at home, so I could sell it on eBay.
Well, there's one analog NT on eBay right now, and it's $1,200.
Okay,
So yeah,
so,
yeah, forget about it. It's way too expensive.
okay, so a couple of months back, I think in March, they were announcing there were rumors that Apple were going to make a TV show, kind of a la Netflix and everybody, HBO and everything, that are making original content. And it was finally released, I think, last week or the week before. It's going to be called Planet of the Apps, not to be mistaken with Planet of the Apes. It's a reality show,
or Planet of the Apps, which was actually a show that was on CNBC about the rise of the App Store. Yes, sir.
I didn't know.
I remember seeing that a few years ago. I tried very hard to find some way to watch it, but I only found some bad quality on, I think it was Dailymotion or something. And yeah, it was they say apps are everywhere. In less than 2 years, the app craze has taken over. The small application or apps that fit on your mobile phone do everything from helping us accomplish mundane tasks to keeping us entertained while we wait for the bus.
What
so
year
this
was
like, is there a year?
2008, 2009 or something at the beginning?
2010. Yeah,
Okay.
2010. You can actually find it on the CNBC website. We'll have the link in the show notes. It's a 6-part documentary. There's even Greg Grunberg. I don't know if you remember him from Heroes. He was the psychic guy.
Maybe by face, but
yeah,
like if I'd see him, but by name like that, no.
Yeah, the chubby guy who was able to mind control people.
Oh, yes.
Okay, yeah, so he had like an app in the making called Yowza for coupons. So he has a part in that little documentary. So, but it was a good documentary. I found it very entertaining and very fun to watch a few years back. So when I saw that Apple reused Planet of the Apps, they probably had to buy that from CNBC, but it's like not original. It was already used for something quite similar. So anyways, it's a dad joke.
Okay, so the Planet of the Apps is a reality show. It's kind of like Shark Tank, I'm guessing. We're going to follow developers, and they're going to be investors and judges and everything. And I hope we don't see too many people coding on screen, because that's going to be pretty boring. So I don't know exactly what are they going to show or what's going to happen. Or I'd understand like if it be fiction or based on, but now as a reality show, I don't see how this is going to be done.
Yeah, we don't know much about that. We only know that there's going to be prizes to be won in the form of venture capitalist investment. So basically, don't think you will be able to see like your indie developer app over there. It's going to be mostly like grandiose ideas that need investment to be able to grow super fast and become the next Uber. So once again, one thing that this will do is distort the reality of what it is to be an app developer, especially an indie app developer. So rare are the cases that you have an idea and you can take this idea, make an app, and then make millions out of it. But this will even more distort the way people think that the app developer works and how the app economy works. So.
I also wonder how they're going to handle the complaints, because app store developers have complaints about the app store all the time. So I don't know if they're going to be able to express that on the show, or like
Probably
review times or something, because this is made by Apple. Or are they going to let the people on the show complain about it? Or
yeah, as it is with any reality TV, for 1 hour of content on TV, you have 500 hours of content.
Yeah.
So they will be able to pick and choose and edit whatever they don't want to see on the show itself. So I'm guessing there's probably be somebody from Apple, probably under Phil Schiller, who's going to be overwatching this and doing the cuts where they need to be.
And maybe we're going to have a live webcam like we had for Big Brother and Survivor and whatever. We're going to be able to see people in their office just coding away, jabbing at the keyboard.
That would be so fun. Oh, he's standing up. Oh, he's going to get a Pepsi. Oh my God, he's back. Look at him. He's stretching.
I'm going to watch it for sure, but I would have preferred, I think, well, I can't really say it, but I would have preferred a documentary style show than as opposed to this reality show.
Well, the only part that I don't like is the VC investment part, because that will direct the kind of apps you're going to see on that. So you're not going to see the next to-do app that's going to be popular because it has a novel idea. You're going to see something that will be able to grow and make loads of money in the next 2 years. So they're going to be interesting because they're going to be disruptors, but there's so much more you can see from the app store or the app economy than just those big budget, big return on investment kind of apps. So that's the only part that I don't like. And we still have to see the format of the show, if it's going to be, like you said, like a Big Brother style TV show or more of a documentary. Like, a few years ago, there was the... So in the game, the movie was a documentary that was following the development of two video games. So they had like 4 or 5 different developers working on 2 different games, and they were following the development of the game itself, the launch day, and after the launch, how everything was going with them. So it was like a reality show because you were following their ups and downs, but it was also documentary because you were following the development and the launching of the games, and how partners and how decisions that were made early on or at the last minute actually affected the game itself and its receiving by the public. So that could be some kind of a pattern, if you want, for this Planet of the Apps, that they're going to follow developers on their game and then how it was received. But at the same time, they were asking to have a game ready to be launched at a certain date. So it will probably be more of the game is there, it's already been developed, and how do you market it and how do you make money out of it? So it's probably just the last part and not the making of part. So I don't know. It's still unclear exactly.
Yeah, they're taking applications, and you have to be a U.S. citizen and available to go to Los Angeles for this certain date range thing. I think it's in October or something like that. Not sure.
Yeah.
So it's not open to everybody. Also, in the same app movie thing, there's another documentary called App the Human Story. It was a Kickstarter project. They're actually letting people that back the Kickstarter project seeing first cuts or of the movie.
And you're
It's
one of
pretty.
them.
Oh yeah, it's pretty good. I don't know if I sent you the link, but I think you didn't have any time to see it.
Yeah, because this kind of thing that you have to start it now and like dedicate 2 hours to it, like in one shot, because your code is like single use. So no, I haven't watched it yet. I'm gonna wait for the whole thing to be available.
Yeah, so I saw the first cut. It was pretty good. So I'm anxious to see the finished product. They
Yeah,
follow the bunch of developers at WWDC, and they go to conferences so they can get interviews done at all at once. But so far, it's pretty good.
nice. Yeah, I really like those little documentaries. There's a bunch of those that are popping up on Kickstarter around the last few months. There are ones that I backed. Was from Dieter Rams, which is a famous German designer who worked for Braun and designed a bunch of iconic devices. The iOS calculator app that you have on your phone right now is a
It's
copy, if you
based,
want,
yeah.
of it on his old calculator design he did. So, and there's a bunch of devices that you can see that Dieter designed that was direct inspiration for Johnny Hive's iPod and iPod Hi-Fi and stuff like that. So yeah, it's very interesting. So I backed this one, and also backed one other one for the Atari game system and the way that Atari was like launched and raised to success and fame and then crashed almost as fast. So they're not very expensive. So they're like usually like $20 or something like that, and you can get the digital version of the video file at the end. So yeah, I strongly encourage you to go on Kickstarter and back some documentaries. They're always fun to watch, and they're also it's also a perfect platform for these types of projects.
Yeah, I love Kickstarter, but they're always late. Everything is always late every time you back something.
Not everything. Studio Neat recently launched a new Kickstarter for the new glyphs, and I was one of the first backers of the very first glyph when it came out. Well, when the campaign started on Kickstarter, and this one was not late. And most of the products that I backed on Kickstarter were actually delivered on time. The ones that are not are usually video games, because they are, for some reason, there's production delays or artistic decisions that make games stretch in development time and even require subsequent campaigns to raise more funds. But usually devices that are made by people that are very serious, they are usually on time, or if they're late, not very much, like for a month or two, or maybe even less. So yeah. So this would not be an RGB episode without any rumors. So let's take a little look at the most recent rumors. The iPhone 7, mostly. We had a few more shots released over the last few weeks of the supposedly iPhone 7. Basically, we have one screenshot, well, one picture that was quite detailed of an iPhone 7 with no markings on the back, the new antenna design that are wrapping the top of the and the bottom edge of the device, and it still has the big, larger lens that is coming out of the device on the back. And that was a gold version, pretty nice. And then we had also something that brought back the old rumor that there would be a iPhone 7, iPhone 7 Plus, and an iPhone 7 Pro released. So 3 different models. The main difference is that the 7 and 7 Plus have the same camera, or probably the same camera, but the 7 Pro has dual lens and the smart connector. So these are interesting, but also perplexing because so many SKUs.
Yeah, I hope this is just a bunch of prototypes and we're actually just going to get the iPhone 7, which is called Pro in this picture, and an iPhone 7, not the stupid Plus and a bunch of different models just to confuse everybody.
Yeah, because 3 devices will be way too much. They would be much better suited to have, like you said, the iPhone 7, which is similar to the 6S right now, and the Pro, which is more expensive but has all the new thingies like the new camera, the new smart connector, and probably some other technology. But just having 2 plus size device, that would make no sense, and that would be such a pain in terms of mass public comprehension on how the different device do what. Also, if they keep the 5S, the iPhone SE around, so that would be like a fourth recent device SKUs and 4 colors each. That would be a nightmare.
I'm tired of all these rumors. I hope just launch the damn phone. Apple, can you release just an official, this is what it's going to be, and wait till September? Stop playing around with prototypes and Chinese leaks and everything, and just give us the phone.
You will never see that for sure.
I know.
For the watch, they had to pre-announce it because there was so much pressure, both from Wall Street that was asking Apple to prove that they could also release a new device, and that would be groundbreaking and
what's the next iPhone?
Yeah, exactly. What's the next iPhone? The iPad was launched 3 years after the iPhone, but now it was like 5 years before the Apple Watch. So yeah, they were getting pressure. So that's why they pre-announced it. But for the regular every year update cycle, you will never see Apple pre-announce an update like that. So you'll have to wait until September to know about this new device. All right, so this is it for today's episode. So this was episode number 17. You can find the show notes at hipsterpixel.co/RGB/17. And you can find us on Twitter. I'm Vallier, VALLIERES.
And I'm Tyler Menard, TYLERMENARD.
All right, so this is it, and have a great week.
Have a nice week.